This is a hog report I received from one of my landowners.
So the hogs had a field day. This is after our last rain, so it happened probably Christmas Eve night or the day after. This is where they've been. Sending you the video. Should you graciously come my way? Bye.
She sends some of the best requests for help. She often includes video or pictures, and she gives me all the appropriate information of what, when, where, and all I have to do is provide the how, and the how is going to be with my Super Yoter LRF from Bearing Optics, and that's going to be mounted on my Lone Star Armory TX15 multi-purpose carbine enhanced in 6.5 Grendel, shooting some Super TNT bullets loaded by Druid Hill Armory into Starline brass, and all of that's going to be mounted on top of my man-blade tripod. Check out a link in the description. In the last couple of weeks since I last used the scope, it's been off the rifle. Ben had borrowed it to do some testing, so now I've got to get it put back on the rifle, and I'm going to see how well the quick detach mount works and see if it returns to 0. So there's my shot on target. There's my target, and that'll do. No adjustment necessary. And Carpe Sus. Showed up at the property about 5:15 in the evening, waited for about 3 hours, and hogs finally showed up. There's a sounder out there at about 515 yards, across a creek and a couple fences. And here I've moved up. The sounder is continuing doing what they're doing. It looks like they're just rooting through the pasture out there at about 269 yards. I don't see any other trailing hogs with this group, so it looks like they're all together. And so I need to move down to the next terrace to get into shooting position, which I've done here. Now I can move forward, but as I move forward down the hill, I'm going to lose view of some of these hogs as there'll be vegetation in front of me, so I'm actually seeing over vegetation from this standpoint. Got some of the hogs moving off to the left, including a big boar and big sow. But the rest of the group stays off to the far right. And so for the next couple minutes, I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I can try to move down and flank the hogs. I'd like to move to the left, but that'd put me upwind of the hogs, and that would be bad. And the hogs are stopping behind all the foliage right there. They could be going down into the creek. I'm not certain. They often use the creek for traveling across the property. Here comes another one. And that looks like that's going to be a sow. And maybe the rest are coming along as well. And maybe behind the foliage there's just another rooting area that they like. Okay, they're coming up the other side. And then they go back in. And now the rest of the sounder starts to move out. And I've got a nice big sow coming. And she's going to be my target. I'll open with her and then see what develops with the runners. Alright, here we go. She goes down. I drop this next boar. And then I lose my lead as the direction of the running changes. And those guys at that point are out there over 300 yards. This near one, it's getting hit at about 240 to 250 yards and then drops down behind the ridge. and that's where it's going to collapse and down at 265 yards. That'll do it. Here's a quick look at the first two hogs as I found them.
Brass Catcher by Tactical Brass Recovery.
The first hog turned out to be a 230-pound sow that came with 4 on board. And there they are. The second hog turned out to be an 80-pound boar that I tried to clean up the image a little bit here. And the last hog was a 160-pound sow that was also pregnant with another 4 on board. I want to thank all y'all for watching in 2024. This was a pretty good year. I came away with a total of 146 hogs with a lifetime total of 2,115 hogs down. And for the rest of this year, a smattering of other animals. All in all, not a bad year.
Carpe System, friends.